Whoops.
it's oh.
Sorry.
So when you press that, you like here's the flesh. Here's the peach color again.
Did you hit more?
No, I just hit that, and then
The
it
app.
had those
Did you
choices.
click the app?
That app, yeah, the app icon that looks like a blue camera on a gray back icon.
Okay, I says who can start a collaboration? No, that's not the button. I don't.
Well, they probably just limited. They gave me limited stuff, but um, you're the administrator, so you probably
Oh,
can get more
oh,
stuff.
oh. It basically I can choose. It says blur my background, adjust background and effects. So I
There you
can
go.
so I can do this, or I
You
can
could do a lot more.
or I can do this.
Yeah, you could do a lot more because you're you're the queen.
Well, I don't think I can do what you with the pink. I like your background because you choose like, oh, I can use an avatar. Oh, hi.
There you go. There you
How's that?
go. That's pretty good.
Which one
my
do you like?
my
Oh, maybe the
my
freedom. Who do you want? Like we can, do you want to be the freedom?
there's a cop. No,
Oh,
I get other avatars of freedom trade and everything. I'm over here in my daughter's house. She's a Airbnb for dogs. Takes care of dogs.
so what do you want the freedom train to be? Who, like, do you want it to be a rabbit or do you want it to be a fox
Oh, fox. Yeah, fox.
or a dog? I don't like the dog because he's just a good pet, you know? He's a loyal pet.
Now we have to have somebody that can outwit the cancer,
Okay.
or be a playboy with the cancer. I don't know.
What's this actually? What about a cow? No, I don't know. What about this one?
What is it?
I don't know. It's not a mouse.
Fox is good.
Fox is good. Okay, let's just go with the
Yeah,
fox. I like the fox.
yeah. Everybody knows a fox.
What's the difference between these two? Oh, this one has a jacket with a collar and this one doesn't. Okay, so okay. So how's that?
Good.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay. So
So this nurse in Dubai, what can she do?
what?
That nurse in Dubai who has a mother that has cancer, can she get me
Oh,
vitamin C?
right. So exactly. I believe that she will do anything. And actually, I've been wanting to connect you guys. She's her name is Wanda.
Wow.
And guess what she's gonna like? Okay, so let me bring myself back now. Um, what is this video? Okay, back to normal. How do I go back to normal? Choose. Okay. Okay. So Wanda is doing, I don't like this background. Do you like this background?
The aurora borealis.
Choose
Beautiful.
video over adjust background. I'll just go with none. Okay. It's disturbing. Okay.
Okay.
So Wanda is actually her podcast is going to include with people who are in the medical field, who are professors, so anybody who is doing anything with cancer. And
Wow.
she's also wants to interview people with cancer. So her goal is to get us all collaborating together, which is
Yeah.
fantastic because I think this is missing. I mean,
Yeah.
the radiology department and the chemo department, they don't even collaborate. And
No.
so what she's
Absolutely.
doing is amazing. And so I want to support that. And she also is bringing in health coaches. And I know that we're not like certified health coaches, but we've gone through cancer. And so we can share our own experiences and we could be a coach, for because we're more knowledgeable than someone who just like become like gets to know that they have cancer,
Yep.
we're
Yep.
ahead of the game. So I think that for you to want to come overcome your cancer, I think you have so much value to share with the
Mhm.
rest of the world. And so this cancer, I mean, the doctors are telling you you have 26 weeks, which is just, 26 months, which is just 2 years. That to me is not, I don't know, I wouldn't be just kind of like, "Pff, yeah, I'm gonna show you how it's gonna be 10 times more or something, you know?
Right. Right.
Because because if you have this attitude and if you believe in it, okay, this is the thing. Jon, these affirmations that people keep saying, it works only if you believe in it.
Yep.
Literally, if you say this is happening for me and to me and you believe in it will work. But if you don't and you're just telling yourself, it's not going to work.
Yep. Yep. And
So,
there's just too many of the other side, you
but if you
know.
understand the meaning behind it, because this is what I'm trying to share with the rest of the world and whoever wants to listen, is that if you put a meaning towards something, then it empowers you by do you're not doing it by saying I have to. You're saying I want to, you know? And that happens subconsciously because you're giving meaning to it. So if you're saying I love to share my journey and story to these people who have just came to know they have cancer. I mean, you have lung cancer, you have brain cancer. I mean, you have so much experience, and if you're going to listen to these doctors and professors and people, and your feelings are going to get in the way. I mean, those feelings we went through when we were young. You know, we're in the wise. We're not in the what is most people say when they hit their, oh, they call it midlife crisis. We're not in our midlife crisis. We're in our wisdom life crisis.
Yep.
Wisdom crisis. I don't know. Call it something wisdom, you know?
Yeah. So in essence, well, one of the things that I knew from the very beginning, I had an intuition of it, is that the tumor, like you said, it it takes all the bad stuff and puts it in one place. It protects it. It's a prison for the cancer. I knew that intuitively,
It's protecting
and
our
instead,
organs.
and they just said no. We need to open it up to make sure what is in there is good or bad. And if it's bad, we consider that a good sign because we caught it early, and now we can eradicate it, right? And then and then they made me feel guilty by telling me it's early. We can cut it out, right? And I said, cut it out neatly. How do you know? What do you put it in a garbage bag? So I started watching YouTube videos, and I saw how they're trying to cut everything out with their ginsu knives, and they're cutting everything around it, and then they're going to stick it in the bag and then close the bag. And I'm like, how are you going to do that? They weren't doing it, right? But that wasn't the first mistake. The first mistake was I allowed them to do a biopsy.
I
That
I'm the same in situation as you are because honestly, Jon, they did a biopsy, two of my lymphs. And now before it was better, it was actually further down. And
Yeah,
ever since the biopsy, it's not going down anymore.
yeah,
It stopped for 2.5 years, but my mind, I was so scared that I just did whatever they said because you go
yeah,
into fear mode. You go into fear mode, and how can you not be? Like everyone else is scared, and how could you not be? I even went through immune therapy and my body wasn't ready, and they still did two radiation, local radiation, which I
yeah,
needed my second surgery. Anyway, long story short, I've been triggering cancer like most of my life, but the thing is that it was being triggered off and on. It was like, triggering and off. But the thing is I didn't have symptoms. And so the symptoms three times came in my life that I became aware. And then when you become aware, that's when your mind shifts.
yeah, yeah.
So
I mean,
if it didn't come back three times, I wouldn't be sharing my story.
yeah. I gave in again. Unfortunately, I was being railroaded again, not on the freedom train, but on the other train, because they said if
What
they
other
check,
train?
well, the bad train,
Oh,
the
the bad train.
railroading, they're railroading me for something. So they wanted to get a lymph node biopsy here, so they can determine the biomarker, and I went ahead and did it.
You did
That's
it.
how they came up. That's how they did the grease soap, right? And then, of course, there's four more new ones. See, so I wasn't thinking because I was just being rushed,
Right.
always being rushed.
Exactly. We're being rushed because everybody thinks that it's gonna metastasize and it's gonna grow. And which happens to a lot of people because once they know they have cancer, they literally shut off. My grandfather, he had lymphoma when he was 70 years old. I'm sorry, not lymphoma, leukemia. He had
Mhm.
like a children's, I don't know, like basically he had leukemia. And he, after 2 weeks, he went into coma and
Mhm.
then he passed away because he literally thought that his life was over after he had cancer. Like his mind shut him off.
Yes,
He didn't
yes,
want to live anymore.
yes. One good thing I one good thing about my medical oncologist is after he discovered, according to the 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 lymphoma biopsy, that marker, my biomarker was the EGFR4 mutated gene. He went ahead and emphasized something that really helped me. He didn't have to do it, but he just did it. He said, "Your biomarker shows that your your cancer is slow growing."
Yeah,
He
mine
actually told
too.
me it was slow growing.
Mine
But
too.
yeah, but that's good. He could have said something else. That's a good thing to say. So now I'm gonna now my doctor's on my side, so to speak, because he's saying it's gonna take a long time, and then on top of it, the Tagrisso is also gonna give you a long time. So I'll go with a long time. Anything that agrees with a long time, I'll go with that. If he has something separate, I throw him out the window. You
Okay.
know,
Okay, well, I'm glad
it's
to hear that it's slow growing. Because mine is called marginal zone lymphoma B cell.
yeah. Is that also slow growing?
Yes. But
Yay!
it stopped for 2.5 years now. So I
Oh, that's great.
I'm in the good zone, right? But it took me a year and a half afterwards to actually start sharing because I didn't think that I didn't want to share my story because I
Yeah,
I just I was to be honest, John, I was ashamed.
yeah.
when once I started sharing, that's when I started shifting, and then I realized that people, because I realized I came up with my 5 pillars, and I felt like I I've come to on a solution, and I have this
Mhm.
solution. I'm just the product. So this is why I wanted to share it with others. And I was like you, I was taking things into extreme. I literally went on one meal, like an OMAD diet. Did I ever tell you
Mhm.
about the OMAD diet? After this came, I decided, you know what? I need to starve this cancer. And so I said, if I can stay like, in fasting for 24 hours every single day, well, then, I'm starving cancer basically.
Yeah.
So I had this great idea. It was like, I think November of 2022, and November, December, January, 3 months. I was doing one meal a day. But like literally, I would wait until 24 hours. Sometimes it was 23. Basically, it was between 22 and 24. So I would put my body in autophagy. So it would be eating its own cell.
Did it work?
Well, guess what happened?
What happened?
When I went to sleep, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I felt like I skipped a breath. And then I started panicking, John. The next day I was afraid even to go to sleep because like I was anyway, what happened was I went to the doctor to do a sleep test to find out what was going on. Did I just start a sleep apnea thing, right? But it took a
Yeah.
while to get this appointment with the sleeping thing. And then so I started eating 2 times a meal because I got afraid. I was like, what am I doing? Like, let me go back to what I was doing before. Maybe this one meal a day thing isn't working. So that was it. So my electrolytes were off balance. I didn't have sleep apnea. What happened was I had heart palpitation,
Mhm.
you know? And so my electrolytes, I don't know what happened, but I guess when I was drinking water or like I was drinking tea and everything throughout, and I was just drinking, but the electrolytes were just, I've had so much crap, as far as therapy that I'm sure that had a lot to do with reducing my microbiomes. When you reduce the diversity of your microbes, you don't
Yeah.
have certain enzymes. And if you're not feeding your microbes, then you're not getting basically when we get older, not only do we reduce our nitric oxide, but we also reduce our diversity of our microbiome. And, we're filled with microbes on us and inside of us. And so if you can eat what you're eat, and also our microbes don't like processed food.
Yes.
So we need to
Definitely.
stay away from processed food. We're just over, when you go to the grocery store, there's more processed food than actually, the produce section. So I hope, are you eating anything that's more vegetables or fruits?
I eat a lot of fermented foods, but I would have to say just the last couple of days, I had fish. I'm trying to go heavy on the fish, and the cruciferous vegetables like um, arugula,
Arugula is good.
lettuce.
Oh my gosh,
You
lettuce.
know,
Every single day, if you can have greens, I highly, highly recommend it.
you know,
I went for, I think, 8 months. I went extreme on fish and chicken. And because I was having a lot of diarrhea with vegetables and fruit, that I got tired of being in diarrhea mode because I was setting off this electrolyte. Are you there?
yeah.
And so what happened was the tip of my toe fingers were turning red. with fish and chicken, and I would eat their skin too because I knew that there was a lot of fat that was good, and so I wanted to increase my fat, but it turned out that it increased my uric acid. And so what was happening is that my blood had too much uric acid and it was showing up on my fingers. And I went in and they basically said that it wasn't gout and they gave it a syndrome called, I don't know, Marie Bamberger syndrome. And they said that it's due to the cold. It's true.
That-
This year, it was just happening in my pinky finger. And and it basically happens when I eat too much meat or just basically animal. So animal foods, they have more purine. And if your body
yeah,
is more acidic, then it raises the acidic level. So the acid, so basically every person, because of their microbes, has a very unique way of, how should I say it? Processing and absorbing food and digesting food. So if you, the more you know about your microbes, which I would highly recommend from your ancestors to find out like what mostly they ate and what it was good for them, I would just go back to that because the more foods I eat that are, good for my DNA, the better I am. So I'm
I
your
guess I guess I have to go back to the Philippines to find out what they ate. Oh,
absolutely make
this is
sure
my
one
my
of the
grandson.
biggest one of the biggest issues that we have, John, is that we live in a time where we're moving, like we're able to live in so many different places in the world, and we don't realize that our circadian rhythm, our microbiome, they're not used to this all different stuff and adjusting. And when we go on, we just go on a like a 9 hour shift and we go, oh, it's just jet lag. Oh, it's just jet lag. I'll just get over it after a week. But if you think about it, if you come from the US, like from California, where you are, and you come to the US, I mean, to come to Berlin, how many hours is that? 9 hours. That means that
Yeah,
for you to take this trip for 9 hours, that means that you should at least stay here for a month,
right.
just come back, after a couple of weeks. That's just crazy. I don't know. I
I'll
think,
just take my melatonin and go to sleep the whole time.
yeah, exactly.
So
So,
just
so exactly, the melatonin is so important. You get up in the morning and go outside, sink in with the sun, and then you set off your melatonin. So basically, your melatonin is going to be very low when you wake up. And so
right,
it needs to be set with nature so that at night it increases without taking any melatonin.
right,
But if you need to take it to sleep and recover, then, by all means. But if you're taking it, try to take it every other day so you don't become like dependent on it.
no, I didn't.
Because I mean, you're right. Sleeping, I mean, too much is not good. However, we have a disease in our, we have cancer
Right,
cells in our bodies. So if our body needs to sleep and regenerate and repair itself, then we need to give it what it needs.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I haven't slept for so long for most of my life, and I think I'm finally catching up. And the good results. I mean, the good results tell you something. The
That's
fact that I was so strong,
that's fantastic
that
that your
that
mind.
surprised me.
No, that's
I,
fantastic
I
that
really believe what you say, that you are what you think. That guy that you have the YouTube video on, I can't remember his name. Um, I listened to him before I met you, and he was actually pretty surprising.
who, Dr.
And
Lee?
I, not Dr. Lee, the white guy. The
Spencer? Tim
what
Spencer
is this?
on Zoe?
No, he was the guy who said, "You are what you think."
Oh, Joe Dispenza. Yes.
Joe Dispenza, yeah. Yeah, I really like it. Okay, my academic mind, I just think, okay, it's sort of like hypnotism, sort of like hypnotism. But he's so easy to believe. You know, I want what he says to be true.
It is.
You know, and then I realized that a lot of the things that I do, I can make happen because I believe it to be true. You know,
Right.
and it's so surprising. So, for example, I went ahead and bought a machine. Did I tell you about this?
No.
I bought a hydrogen monotherapy machine, which is sort of like a mini vitamin C machine, you
Okay.
know? And wait, ask grandma for it. Ask grandma for milk. Okay, anyway, it's $2,500, right? It's
Okay.
$2,500.
Yeah.
And this one has 22 PubMed studies. But I just thought like Joe's Dispenza. I'm gonna get this thing for cheaper, you know?
Hmm.
So in less than 5 minutes, I knocked off $700 off. You know,
How?
I just I just thought like I could do it, you
Nice.
know? So I thought to myself, that way of thinking where you're gonna get better. You're gonna get this. This is gonna heal. You know, just use it for everything, not just for the cancer.
Ex-
You know,
You got it. That's exactly.
you want more people to come to over your side. You just talk to them that way and say, "Yeah, our side's better. Come over to our side."
Absolutely.
Convince them.
Absolutely. Even if you can't. So here's the thing. I believe that it's important to take care of yourself before trying to bring other people to your side. Because when you use that energy to bring people over to your side, that's
Mhm.
your energy that you need to conserve for yourself. So
Very good.
once you get into the free zone, which is your cancer is not like metastasizing, then worry about bringing people to your side. But if your cancer is metastasizing, you can't bring people over to your side. I'm sorry. You know, it's going to
No,
be
no.
because you're just depleting. Your energy is going, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you've heard that saying that when you're in the plane and you need to give the oxygen mask, the mother
Right.
to the child, and then so put your oxygen mask on first and then give it to your child. Well, it makes sense.
It,
Put it way over here, John.
it does make sense. Um,
The big next noise, you just move it again.
okay, hold on a second. I have to move around. Excuse me. Thank you. Yeah. Oops. Hey, hang about. I just noticed though, for me,
Okay.
I'm trying to develop my own style
Okay.
of dealing with these things. And uh, I agree with you that for most people, they have to put the oxygen on first. But I'm so persuasive that if I if I put if I put the oxygen on the other guy fast, I can get both of us out of the plane so fast. You know
But guess what?
what?
The other person doesn't want to get out. So you can't force other people. Other people, everyone has their own truth, and their truth
That's true.
is
That's true.
different.
But I just noticed that I have a strong will, and
I know.
I managed to get other people to buy what I'm selling.
So here's the
You
thing.
know.
Strong
Uh-huh.
will. There's a
Mm-hmm.
guy on LinkedIn, and his name is Paymon, and he's an
Hey, man,
illustrator. Mhm. And he uses a fire to show how willpower he shows a candle which is really high, and then it goes slowly and dies. But then he shows habits, and the habits are actually like the entire time is like consistent. So willpower with the habits is what's going to create your thriving, but willpower is just the ignition. Just
I
think
see.
about the ignition, but it's not going to keep you going.
Yeah, because the other person's still fighting you. Yeah.
Because the thing
I-
is that the habits is who, have you heard the saying, we are our habits?
yeah. Yeah.
So then, if you every day, if you can shift across these five pillars, sleep, hydration, breath, movement, food, I will guarantee that you will change your mind. Your mind will shift.
Yes, and we also have to find people who have similar habits,
Okay,
so that
your
we
voice
support
just
our
went
habits.
away.
We also have to find people who
Your
have
voice
similar
is really
habits.
low now.
Oh, hold on.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, somebody's trying to call me. I just got rid of them.
Okay.
So yeah, so similar habits. We have to find people with similar habits, so they will support us.
So
You
here's
know.
the thing, that's exactly why we're creating this freedom train. So we could have more support and have more discussions and we can laugh about it because it's not being sad about it is not going to help. And we're going to share. So the point is the freedom train is to create a community to support each other, to laugh, and to shift our mind so that we can align our mind on our body. Because I do believe that we can overcome cancer. It's just here to wake us up. That's it.
Yes. Should be. Yes, definitely, definitely.
We just need
But
to shift our lifestyle. By the way, I just started with DHL and I'm outside, it's part-time. So
Mhm.
I'm outside delivering. So I'm
Oh, okay.
literally like on my I just purchased barefoot shoes, which grounds you. I highly recommend getting barefoot shoes.
Yes, yes, definitely. I'm actually trying to get moccasins, and I'm inventing a shoe where there's going to be a carbon base on the bottom.
Okay,
So
well,
it'll be, yeah,
before you invent anything, let's make sure that you're on the way to like everything, like as far as your lymph, just stop it. Don't worry about if it reduces. A lot of times when I go to the doctor, at the beginning I was like, has it reduced, has it reduced? And after every single time I was like, why am I so addicted for it to be getting reduced? As long as it's not growing, that's already in the right path.
right, right. Sometimes incrementalism is enough, you
Exactly.
know?
I don't know what my body is doing inside. It's not like I have a flashlight to see what's going on. But as long as it's not increasing, then I'm fine. That's
Right,
enough. I've lived
right. That's
55 years. It's enough for it to just stop. I have
that's
another
true.
55 years. I can worry about reducing it. It took a long time to get here because it was very slow growing, right? So it's not going to go
Yeah,
vanish tomorrow like that. It's going to go slowly
yeah,
out of me. It slowly came in, it slowly goes out.
yeah.
That's it.
And that's what, hang on, but that's what's interesting because you were thinking that, I was thinking it, the doctor was thinking it, but it wasn't fulfilling the requirement of money. So they had to speed it up again. And then after they speed it up and got the money, then they can slow it down again.
Thank you. Very nicely said.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden everybody who was against you is now thinking like you. See, we were always in the same page.
Right.
I'm like, what just happened?
So
You
we have
know?
2.5 more minutes at the end. Would you like to say something? Because I have to literally go to sleep. It's like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, I do. So this
by the way, I can't see
this
your mouth.
oh, here.
Okay.
The
Much
the
better.
how's that better?
Better.
So the Filipino nurse, Is she able to get IV vitamin C in any way for me?
We can get her on, like, I'll find a time and maybe we'll get on call with Wanda.
Yeah, I need to get started on something in the blood-brain barrier. Because the Griso is supposed to be taking care of the lungs, right? The mind is supposed to be taking care of everything, but my doctor was saying that the brain tumors, there's nothing that crosses the blood-brain barrier except things that have to do with ozone and vitamin C. So I'm trying to find that treatment, mistletoe treatment, and also there's artemisinin,
Okay.
I found out that this thing is very powerful too to cross the blood-brain barrier. So
Okay.
there's a lot of things like that, but I need a prescribing nurse
Okay. So let me get Wanda on, like,
or
let me
doctor.
work on, because she's a very, very busy lady and she's in Dubai, which is
Okay,
another 3 or 4 hours ahead of me. So I need to
okay.
get your time. What's the earliest time that you can get on?
Well, I'm in Pacific time, so I wake up at
Okay.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Do you wake up at 6
It's
a.m.? No.
6 a.m., 6:30.
Okay.
I'm, I
Okay.
mean, for something like this, I'll wake up. I'll
Okay.
wake up for, of course, because
Okay.
if it's not gonna work out, I'm gonna go to Mexico. I'm
Okay.
probably gonna go to South
No,
Korea
I
or
need, because both of you guys are Filipinos and she does a lot for the Filipinos community. So she would be
yeah.
grateful to meet you.
Okay, so I'm interested in the high dose vitamin C
Okay.
that she can help me get because
Okay.
I know some Filipinos in the Philippines and they're having difficulty finding high dose vitamin C. Anyway, that
Okay.
would be a great help. And
Perfect.
then the last thing is there's also a nurse in keto cancer or cancer warriors, and I can't find her.
Right. Don't worry.
What's the,
Let's
so if I